What's up, everybody, and welcome to another reading with the Crown Priestess. Um, in spirit of the new moon in Virgo and Mercury going direct, I have been compelled to bring you a message today, bring you guys a reading. I am going to use some cards, but I am receiving rather clear downloads as we speak. It's probably why I've been called to do a reading, if that makes sense. I'm feeling also compelled to start this off with a light prayer. Divine Source, I ask that you are here with us in this sacred space, that you are blessing and protecting all who come into this space for this divine message, that nothing of dark, evil, or harmful energy is able to penetrate or follow into the lives of the collective or into mine. I ask that you bless and protect me as I walk through this divine light to deliver this message to your people. We ask that you return all harm and malice to sender tenfold. And pray they find redemption in wearing the pain that they have bestowed on others. Ashe. Okay. See, say yeah, I just heard my, I got them Spanish ancestors too, y'all. I got a little bit of everybody. We're going through some times, man, so I just felt compelled to open with that. I usually do a prayer off camera, but I felt like I had to do it on camera, okay, for whatever reason. Prayer is spell work, in case you didn't know that. When you speak, your words have power. So it is always important to think before you speak. I know that can be difficult. I'm preaching to my own fucking choir at this point, but we have to think before we speak sometimes, because our words do have power, especially if you are a divine child, you are a spiritual practitioner, if you are someone who is heavily connected to the divine through whatever channel that is. Your words are extremely powerful. Your words are your rituals. Your words are your affirmations, are your spell work, okay? So somebody needs to know that. Somebody needs to hear that right now. We're going to get into whatever it is that Spirit is trying to bring in here. There's a lot of catastrophic ass energy at the gate, which is why I felt compelled to say that prayer, and why I felt the need to, because a lot of spiritual workers, they say return to sender and all of that stuff, and that is very much so a positive affirmation when you are dealing with a lot of hateful, jealous energy around you. But I added that they find the redemption, because there's somebody here who is learning a very hard lesson right now, okay? And you could be viewing me, or you could be watching this unfold in somebody else's life. We are in a time of great exposure, and so unfortunately, this is, no matter how much people want to suffer in silence, God is not allowing that for certain individuals at this time. There's a plane going. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Land the plane. That's what I just heard. I just heard land the plane. Okay, no. So at this time, um, especially your enemies, for lack of better words, because everybody's not necessarily an enemy just because you have a fallout or a disagreement, but a lot of those people, you know who they are in your life, are being exposed. They're being put on public display for their karma in this round, all right? And it's because, somebody just, and it's a collective reading. So the people who come here, they're on both sides of the spectrum. Everybody's not, on the same level. But somebody here is coming into that lesson that's really going to open their eyes. Okay, somebody's really being awakened, and it's not like a gentle awakening. It's not one of those like wake up baby with a little kiss on your face. It's like bat flip your bed, like take your shit off, or some, what I'm getting now. I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie Pearl Harbor with Ben Affleck and Josh Hartnett, and they were like You know how in World War II we were attacked on a Sunday, um, like literally, which was brilliant, for our rival because Sunday's the day off. Nobody was working, nobody was training, nobody was up. It's the one day that they get to like sleep in a little. And they, were out drinking the night before and getting into all kinds of mischief, and they caught them slipping. And it's like, it's that kind of wake up that somebody's having right now. You're waking up straight into World War II type shit. Like, and it's going to be difficult. It's going to be painful, and it's going to hurt, man. It's really going to hurt. But it's necessary, and I think that this is like the time where someone is finally going to get it, because I feel as though Spirit has been trying to sort of nudge this person for a while now to wake up, and it's like they've been sleeping hard. They one of those hard sleepers that they don't wake up to the sound of a pin drop. They didn't hear the whisper. They didn't hear the subtlety, and so now Spirit is like gonna shake their whole fucking room up. Like I said, get the fuck up, and it's that time right now. Okay. Okay. With that being said, the first card that came out is heartache and loss. So yeah, a lot of the realization can definitely come through that, not just relationship wise, but not just romantic relationship wise, but through anything. And people are just experiencing loss right now, um, and at great cost. I'm sorry. I'm sending love and light. I know some people have lost some people recently, very recent. You could have had a death in your family, death with a close friend. Yep, memories of love when I say that. So there's definitely somebody who, I would say whoever it is that passed, they have passed over very gracefully. All right, you have the balance card behind that and spiritual strength behind that. So just know that, everybody has their time. It's funny, I posted earlier on my personal page, and it was something that I seen a friend write, but I just reposted him, and it said everything has an expiration date. Come on, work, Spirit, work. Everything has an expiration date. And I don't say that to be, you know, inconsiderate, to anybody who is suffering an actual loss, that lost a person. But that applies to so many aspects of life, relationships, jobs, your home, where you live, how you are as a person, your youth. Everything has an expiration date. Things have to change. You have to kind of rotate shit off the shelf, right? Like, what if you went into the supermarket and every time you went to the supermarket, you had to like dig or beg a fucking manager to bring out some new shit because everything on the shelf was expired already? It's like, yo, are y'all doing your job? Are y'all not seeing that all this shit is like from 3 months ago? Like, how you want me to buy some old ass milk or some old ass eggs? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? So, it's coming into a time. It's so crazy because I said everything before I shuffled these cards, and I'm gonna show you the cards that came out. So you had heartache and loss as the first one, awareness as the second card, and intuition. Come on. And one, two, three, they didn't come out in order, but the numbers are here. Awareness is one, intuition is two, heartbreak and loss is three. So you can be seeing those numbers. Any variation of them can be very important to you. They're definitely um, in line with your energy right now, okay? The thing is that there is, some of us are going, we're progressing, and some of us are regressing at this time, and it all depends on what side of the street you're on, right? Um, Whether you're going east or west, north or south, you know your story. But it does seem like there is some heavy energy here. Okay, some people are feeling extremely disappointed at this time, and what's happening is that the shelf life, you know, whatever this is, it may have had a long shelf life, and you may have thought like, oh, I'm good, like, it's beans and shit. I can hold these beans till World War III, and now here we are getting signs and synchronicities all throughout the globe that the world is going nuts. You like, damn, let me check out my pantry and let me see what's up. And you're realizing that you have to get rid of half this shit because it's no longer good. You say it's useless now, and you've kind of just been holding it there, collecting dust, not really rotating things out, not using them. It was kind of like, oh, I'm gonna save that for this, but this, never came, or this came at a time where you were not expecting, and the chances are that that expectation came a lot later, or just never showed up, and now you're realizing that you are not equipped, you don't have the resources for this, and so you're forced to roll with these punches. Um, I keep getting the death very strong here, with something went in front of me. Raise the vibration a little. Um, just shake it off for y'all. But if you did experience a death, or if you are experiencing a death close to you, I'll say that because it can be anybody. Um, Obviously, death is one of those things that comes very unexpected, right? No matter how terminal a case is, or whether you think you got 3 days or 300, it just come when it come. She's one of those. She's not gonna give you the courtesy very often. You know what I mean, of any of that. The only time that changes is if it's like a suicide thing, which God bless, I'm sending a lot of love and light to somebody who's feeling that right now. Somebody's feeling like they want to just take it. They want to just end it because it'll be easier. It's not when you leave like that, I promise. Okay. um, but if you are experiencing death, if you are experiencing a loss, some of you are remembering a loss. Okay, remember, you had the memories of love on the bottom. So maybe you didn't recently lose somebody like this month or this year, but maybe you lost them last year or 2 years ago, and that's still very new. And we can be approaching anniversaries, birthdays, holidays are coming, so those feelings start to jump back up into our skin. Um, and it does feel very weighed down, but it is a time that you are being asked to reflect on, that you are being asked to work through and then release. Okay. Because that's there's a big message there around that. So sending love and light again, because there's a really big message around loss, like actual loss. Yep. Also, something for some of you, something is being replaced, right? With death comes rebirth, is the energy that I'm getting with this. Something is being replaced. And it's not to say that you can replace someone that you loved really greatly, but, moving forward, like it doesn't take away value from the thing that was lost, just to be replaced with a new, right? And it's not always like that. Yeah, that makes sense. Damn, Three of Swords came out twice, right? So I'm telling you, somebody here is devastated. Somebody is really, and Five of Cups behind that. Holy shit. Somebody left, whether physically, whether spiritually, whether emotionally. Like somebody left, and it left you devastated. Like you're very devastated. You're very hurt, because you are realizing that you can't get this person back, right? High Priestess is here twice as well. It's something that you know already, though. Like, it's like, and with this new moon, it is spirit. New moons are a chance for new beginnings. They are a chance for new cycles. With awareness being there, and the number one on top, it is very clear. Like you're getting a chance to start again, right? Like, and start fresh is really the situation, right? It's not so much a reset. It's just a brand new start in a brand new world, in a brand new space, on a brand new level, like whatever that means for you. For some of you, there's a lot of firsts here. Like it's your first house, your first time that you're having to move, the first time that you're getting this type of job, the first time that you're single, the first time that you're in a real relationship, the first time that you become a mom or a dad. There's a lot of firsts here, but I do feel like there's so much emotion and anxiety and even heartbreak, tied to whatever this first is, because it feels bittersweet. It feels like you had to lose something to get this, but that's just life. That's the process of life. And you're trusting this process. This, with the High Priestess here twice. You're not dizzy. You're not dense. You get it. You're starting to get it. That's it. Like for the people who have kind of not been able to understand the lesson, now you're gonna understand. And it's like you're gonna understand it in a very real way. And man, that spiritual growth just be like that. That shit hurts. They don't talk about that enough. Spiritual people, enough teachers and mentors, and whatever they want to call themselves, they don't elaborate on that part. Like, and it's a real thing. And I get it. We don't want to be negative. We don't want to bring you down. But we want to work through your pain, right? We're spiritual therapists. That's kind of what we are. I'm not a therapist that can like medicate you or anything like that. But as a spiritual therapist, a spiritual advisor, I can help you work through this and tell you that you're not alone, number one. Number two, this is all for your greatest good. Number three, it's okay to feel that shit. Feel it. Cry. Let yourself break down. Like, fuck it. It is what it is. Do your ugly cry. Get that shit out and get it off because it's cleansing for the soul. It's going to help you. But yes, it is a painful process. But it's all for the right reasons, and there is light at the end of the tunnel for sure. I do feel like for a lot of you, you've been greatly battling for a while. This hasn't been like, I feel like somebody got back to back hits here with the L's. Like if it wasn't, it's not like one thing or the other. It is like everything, every fucking part of my life just seems to be taking a hit at this time. Financially, I know people financially are fucked up right now. Emotionally, people are fucked up right now. And it's just a lot. Some people are sick. The COVID shit is jumping up and down back again. We got aliens. It's just so much going on at this point, you know. And so I get it. I want you to know that it's a collective thing. It is not just you. And don't think that spiritual workers, no matter how fucking light or beautiful or high our frequency is, don't think that we are exempt from life. We are not. Okay? So trust me, it's everybody, and that's why I did that prayer for you guys. Okay? Let's see what is a likely outcome here for all of this, because I do feel like you kind of know what it is already, and it's like you're expecting the worst to happen at this point. Like you're expecting for it to get much worse. But I feel like the cycle closes for a lot of you. You've kind of reached the end with the world card, okay? Like the worst is over now, and that's why you're allowed this fresh start. Um, but you're still carrying a lot of the pain, okay? You're still carrying it. You know that things are gonna be hard. You know that you're under attack. You know that life is just gonna keep coming at you. And things are. But look at you. You are maintaining your balance. Like you are staying in alignment. You in your bubble. In your bubble, like this shit can't get to me because you know better, you're on a higher frequency, and you're not entertaining the bullshit. I think that for a while people were so used to you entertaining shit, and that could be a big part of like the bittersweetness too. Like sometimes it's as simple as that. It's not even that deep. Like sometimes, and this is personal testimony. Um, I was a like I'm an Aries, and so when I was running the streets and doing whatever, I really never waited for a bitch to hit me first. Like you know what I mean? Like, and maybe 9 times out of 10, that ain't even where sis was trying to take it or do whatever. But once I felt disrespected, I popped on you, and every so often I catch myself, because that life was years, that was decades ago. And trust me, I've had my karma. I'm not, like I'm not one of those who's gonna sit here and be like, oh, a bitch ain't never beat me up, da 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 da. I done got jumped bad, like bad. So it's not to say that I did not pay my debt. Trust me, I paid my debt back with a lot of that shit. But I learned, because that was the thing. I grew up in a space where like, all right, bitches jump me, so what? We going back over there tomorrow, and we going 10 more deep, like, you know what I mean? And it was never, when does it end then? If it's going to constantly be this back and forth, like, you know what I'm saying? So, in my growth and making those changes, it was tough for me a lot of times to feel like, damn, I'm pussy. Like, if I don't smack this bitch, I'm pussy now. Like, or if I don't say something back, if I don't clap back, I'm soft. If I don't whatever. But it's like, no, I'm not soft. I'm actually smart. I'm wise. I'm above this shit. I'm a mother. Like it's a lot of other things. So I'm using that as an example, but a lot of y'all can be in a space where that's the bittersweetness that you're feeling like, damn, I'm so used to showing up this way, and people are so used to seeing me show up this way that if I'm not walking in those shoes anymore, or I'm not fulfilling that, it's like you feel like you're betraying yourself, or you look phony, or people are gonna talk, and it's like fuck all of that. You're not betraying yourself. You're doing yourself a disservice if you go back to that energy, because really, you've grown. You've grown, and you just don't want the same things anymore. You don't want to mob in the same situations anymore. You don't want to have the same type of friends. You don't want to do the same type of shit. You don't want to work in that place anymore where everybody's fucking miserable. You don't want to hang out with that family member because they just are fucking ill. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, but I could feel that there's this like pressure, and for some, because it's not all, but for some there's even this codependency, because you just got so used to living a certain way and being attached to certain behaviors and patterns that releasing that, it feels very hard. It feels like rehabilitation, right? Some of you could be struggling with some sort of addiction to drugs, alcohol, or sex, or just anything that was overly indulged, that wasn't really helping you. It wasn't in a high frequency, okay? And you've done very well to release yourself and break off of that. And Spirit is congratulating you, and they want you to know that they see it and they recognize it. But yes, when we cut out cancer, it still hurts. I've said that, I've used that reference before. Like, if I have a tumor and I cut it out, I'm still gonna have to recover from surgery. Like, it's still gonna hurt. I'm still gonna be on pain meds. I gotta go to therapy and all that stuff. But the cancer is gone. You know, it just becomes now. It becomes it becomes a new challenge to learn how to live without this thing. But you will, and you will get better, and you will look back, when you're in your whole full blown remission, like, damn, I really beat that cancer. Like, I did that, but it's a process right now. It's a process. And some of you, like I said, depending on how spirit sees fit for you, not necessarily as punishment or whatever, but some of it is being done, out loud. This is not, again, it's that time of exposure. And I say that to say, like, yeah, there's some fucking low frequencies and shit that, they kind of deserve what's going on. We all do at some point, because none of us are perfect. We've all done bad shit. And when karma hit us, it's like we know, like, oh, damn, that's because I know what happened to me. You know, like, that's how I felt. Like, when I came home beat up so bad one day, like, and my mother and my grandmother, they couldn't even recognize me. That's how bad I was beat down. This is personal testimony, because I got beat up by a whole damn block, and like men and everything. And but that's how much of a firecracker I was. You know what I mean? So whatever. But they were so like mortified, right? Obviously hurt, whatever. And I had to tell my mom. I'm like, listen, because I didn't even. That was one of the times, like, I was already older, and I thought about it. Like, I thought about going back and doing some fucked up ass shit, and I could have. I really could have, like, even long after that. But I didn't, because I understood, and I said to my mother, and like she could attest to this. I'm like, Ma, you know how many people I done wild out on, like wild out, did crazy, despicable things that I pray I never ever have to do to anybody again. That I would only do those things if, like, somebody hurt my baby, like, God forbid, God bless him, like, because it was no reason for me to even take it that far. That's what I'm trying to say. And so I understood, like, when all that shit came smacking down back on me, it was like, what, I thought I was gonna get out of jail free card with this, like, that shit was bound to come back to me. I was acting crazy, you know? And so I say that to say that whether you've done something, whether you've been a bad person or whether you've been a good person, this time of exposure is for testimony. It's for that. Like, it's being put on display because people have to learn from you too. People have to see what the fuck is going on, because sometimes that in itself, what is the saying? A smart man learns from his mistakes. A wise man learns from another's. You understand? And so that's why we're in a time of exposure where everything is being seen, everything is being brought to the light. You're finding out information. It's like that right now. There's nothing's being, all that shit that people think they doing in the dark. It's not in the dark. If the high priestess come out one more time, that's just spirit telling me pack it up, because they got it. Look, I just want y'all to see this. These are all high priestess. All right, 222 is also significant, right? High priestess is number 2. Let's get a message from spirit. It turns out okay. Okay, it turns out okay, but I want to get y'all some advice. Some advice. Definitely to trust your intuition and walk in your truth. Okay, that's it. Trust your intuition, walk in your truth. Let's see what the starseed oracles have, because these things have really powerful messages, especially for those of us who are more like, we're here, Gina. Gina, we're here. Okay. No. Oh, yep, they want that one. Okay. I swear, I love God. I love God. I love everything. I love what I do. I love that I was chosen for this. Cracked open, okay? It says, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. I can't make this shit up. Like, if it goes over your head, then hey, I think you're following the wrong priestess, honestly. But I'm sending a lot of love and light to you all. I pray that message reaches well. I know that we are in some times. I know that things are very difficult right now for everyone. So please, just like, try to stay in good spirits. Get out into nature. Talk to God. Talk to people you trust, and it's gonna be all right, man. We are gonna be okay. The world is worlding right now, and life is lifing, but it's really gonna flip, and you will see that, like, the good will prosper, for real. All right, love y'all.